Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about GoPro Mission 1. So let's dive deep into it. So this Mission 1, it's not a replacement for action camera, it's a parallel lineup. So this is bold from GoPro. Whether it's wise or not, that's a different thing, future will tell. But this puppy is bold. And they launched 3 cameras at once for action camera company. Yeah, so this is very bold, and they're gonna run it parallel with GoPro Hero series, meaning Hero series will not be shut down. Okay, now it's Mission 1, Mission 2. No. There will be, hopefully, there will be Hero 14, 15, 16, something like that. And the core reason why they are so proud about this is because of the SoC, silicon on chip, basically. System on chip, GP3. Be mindful, GoPro had earned a very bad reputation because their SoC, they had a third-party supplier for SoC, and at some point they jumped into in-house SoC. And because they were releasing camera every year, it was poo-poo. And again, not the problem of SoC. They had the same SoC, they released 2-3 cameras in that, and the last cameras were like, yeah, this is good. How the heck the camera is good if the SoC is same? Yeah, they did not have enough time to cook the firmware, know the system, so a yearly launch is not sustainable. So GP3 is their latest system. Last one was GP2, and again, GoPro has not a very good reputation history on this. Whether you say, oh, everybody, no, it's not good. Flat out, it's not good, and people who bought it, they are angry about it. That's how bad it is. GP1 and 2, and again, this yearly update, they are not Snapdragon. They do not have that kind of oomph, or Apple kind of oomph, where they can like, okay, we have new SoC and we're gonna fine tune it in like, few months. Yeah, they don't have that kind of horsepower. So this time they are saying this new SoC with new sensor is going to give some 8K capabilities and open gate and this and all that, and this time we have 50 megapixel. Now let that be very clear. Is this 50 megapixel? Hell no. What they have is a like almost 12 megapixel sensor sliced each pixel into sub-pixels, that is like 4 pixels. It's almost cheat code. Sensor size 1-inch sensor. There are other action camera, including Sony one time made it 1-inch action cameras that have 1-inch sensor, which is bigger than 1/2 inch. I have no idea who came up with this stupid naming convention. I have no idea. Like if I were in European Union, I'll pass a law. You make the camera call whatever you want, but specify what is the surface area of active pixels. Square mm, that's the unit. Use the goddamn square mm. How many square mm? 8, 15, 60. So that's the Mission 1 that they are launching. So it's a parallel lineup they are adding with their main system, and these two are the basic and pro, and these are interchangeable one. 3 puppies. So basic and pro, they are now using AI. That's their big deal. You have to understand that like mobile phone have also eaten up their lunch of action cameras, because again, the early days, as in like 2015 and all that, smartphones were fragile AF, meaning one drop in a bucket of water, delete, the end, gone forever. But now we have water resistant smartphones, and some are really decent. Like people actually just go to swim and like go into swimming pool and all that. A smartphone is like, I'm fine. Like rain and all that, I'm fine. Drop, all of that kind of robust devices, so they can go more places than like action camera. And on top of tiny sensor penalty, they have much better AI. So GoPro is like, now we have AI, so we can do much better compute on board. So 5 nanometer SoC with NPU. It has like actual neural processing unit, dedicated hardware to run a dedicated AI engines. So they can do adaptive polishing of the video file. 1-inch sensor, quad bear design. Yeah, if you look into it, it's like it's 100% some product manager looked into it like, oh, we can do this in engineering. Engineering was like, why we can do this? It's like, make it a product. It's like, sir, it will not actually do anything. No, make it a product. We'll sell 200 megapixel sensor to people. It's like, no, it's poop. This 50 megapixel is poop. Like compare this 50 megapixel to even like let's just say 24 megapixel of a APS-C sensor. Like in terms of actual fidelity, this will be beat, like flat out. It will not be a competition. Physics is like law of physics. Oh, and again, always understand that like if you have a wide field of view and you're contorting it in a smaller surface area in sensor, light will degrade. Like it's a physics system. That's why 50 mm f2.8 lens on a cinema, it's huge. They do not want to contort light. Like that's the law of physics. Look into RE lenses. They're like freaking huge. I never understood it. Oh, light, diffraction, refraction. You do not want to contort light. These by default forces light to be so output will be poo poo. 8K 60 FPS, damn, 100% useless. 8K open gate, somewhat useful but 100% useless because it's 30 FPS only. So, and again, this open gate fever that everybody has is simply because we're gonna have, like, horizontal and vertical, while you can frame it dynamically in post processing. So meaning you have a character, you set it up like, rule of thirds, but in vertical it will be offset. Now you can move it, crop it. It's just too much hassle post processing work. So I have no idea why people are like so madly love about this. Like, I get that, but it's really not that impressive. So, and battery has been improved a little bit. So this puppy has 2150 milliamp hour, or basically 74 minutes if it's cooled. Now, what does that mean, cooled? It means you are in Alaska and swimming on, not swimming, skiing on a mountain trail at very high speed, so air is cooling it. Otherwise, I have no idea why they even show desert. If it's in a desert and you're not moving, air is static, this puppy will overheat in 30 minutes. So that is there. And better thermal system, because that was primary thing you have to understand. As action cameras became more what you call powerful, they did not become cool enough to put up with it. For example, back in the old days, nobody was complaining about laptops overheating. Like, it was not a thing. Like, laptop only had that much power that it could dissipate. But like, in let's just say 2020, it became a thing, like put a badass GPU, badass CPU into it, which it can't cool. And it's like, what that happened with action cameras. They're not made out of metal. They don't have cooling fans. They don't even have proper vapor chamber. So it always overheats, always. So they are saying, no, this time it will be a bit better. So it's a very weird thing. So like, you're gonna have the mic, you're gonna have this, and you're gonna do that, all of those things. Now this ILS, interchangeable lens system, this is the most uncooked implementation I've seen. I have seen Chinese mobile phone company doing a better implementation of a lens than this puppy. It is weird. Like, sensors so small. It's small, by the way. It has crop factor on a micro four third, which already has a crop factor from a full frame. So it's like, damn. And be mindful, it will give you poop quality because you're only using the center part of the lens, and lens was not designed for it. Meaning, if you look into lenses that are made for microscope, they have a different kind of optic train, so they can focus light on a smaller area. But if you have, like, let's say full frame or micro four third, force it into even smaller, it will not look good. So, and not to mention, this is how I know this is a very, what you call, last minute effort. There is no electrical contact. Micro four third is almost an open lens format. And that's why there are two different companies making lenses and mounts for it. Three companies actually. You have lenses from Olympus and Panasonic and Leica, even some lenses. I'm not sure about Leica, but you get the point. Like, lens mount is open. By the way, it was used in television, so it was already made in broadcasting, and it was very close to what we call Super 35. Close. Not accurate, close. But it's an open system. And again, do you need electrical contact? Short answer, yes. If you have electrical contact, your lens metadata is actually there. It's like, hey, what was the what was the aperture, all of those things. And what is the lens ID? Lens ID is necessary for correction, meaning what is the barrel distortion, what is the pin cushion distortion, all those data. Again, even if it's not baking that into the video, having that file in the metadata layer for your post processing, that would be significantly helpful. So not having that, and again, now you have no metadata layer. It's like, okay, my video looks blue. Is it blue because the video file is blue, or is it because the lens is blue? So not having any sort of electrical contact on an open lens standard, which, mind you, in cinema, quote unquote cinema, they generally come up with an open plate. It's just, oh, we have PL, throw it away, put E mount, throw it away, put a R mount, throw it away, put a Z mount. You can do that. Electrical mount for lens is easy done. Chinese companies that are just coming into market, they are solving it. This does not have that. So this literally feels like 3 to 4 months of manufacturing time, and the lens mount is not even offset enough the display. It's not even removed. Like, the mount itself shadows it. You can't even do, okay, I'm going to do action. At this point in time, it would be better and comfortable to buy Olympus cameras or Panasonic cameras with micro four third, and you will have much better experience. And you're like, okay, but I can drop this. It's like, no, if you drop this, this will break because the lens mount is not an integrated part. Oh, and you will open it, you'll find dust. It does not even have an active dust shutter. I'm like, You needed that shutter. Again, not for photo taking, not for video, but you needed the shutter for dust. So fundamentally, the Micro Four Third lens had a quality that was the same quality spelling. It was not that great. Let that be very clear. It was not that great. And the great lenses that were like really good, yeah, those were broadcast lenses, and they are not hundreds of dollars. They are thousands of dollars. Thousands. And that's what they have in the NAB booth and all that, where it's like, okay, we have this lens. I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna put $10,000 lens on a freaking $700 body. It's like, that's not happening. So fundamentally, this whole thing sounds like a largest effort for a company that has almost stock value that dropped to below $1, by the way. Below $1. And this 1.33 just happened. I think people bought on this hype. It is, and be mindful, a lot of people are saying that GoPro was always like this. It was run like a scam. It went overvalued. The owners just like dipped on it, like sold their assets, bought a yacht and all that, and just like yeet out of there. Company never recovered from that. They had like, you know, decent enough, like if you had bought it, give or take, in 2018-19 stocks, it did went up in like, you know, 2019 and all that. But as other companies started, DJI and other companies, Insta360, they slowly started to lose. So now they are done, like it's almost reaching zero, and they just had 20% layoff, so to say. So yeah, it literally looks like a last ditch effort. And again, if I were GoPro, I would not even bother with their own SoC. That's their most common complaint. Just deal with MediaTek. Again, I get it, like if you go to Qualcomm, it will be very expensive. MediaTek is far more cost effective. Heck, even Samsung Exynos is far more, you know, stable nowadays. Like we don't hear complaints about Exynos as we used to. It was like, oh, it was overheating, it was poop and all that. Now people are like, yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's not bad. Like you will be fine. And again, they have enough horsepower. They can, like, you know, they've been doing 8K. Like they're not going to do 8K. They have been doing 8K, and they have been like, oh, 50 megapixel, bruh, we have 200 megapixel. So fundamentally, this is just weird. So this is the WTF $700. And to give you a context of that, like you have to pay $700 for just this. You have to pay more for lens and frame and body and all this. And you can get a proper mirrorless camera from two different brands, which is Sony and Canon. By the way, there were Olympus option also. Nikon was the only one that was not truly great. But be mindful, you have to select for $700, Sony is a bit expensive. That is like $698, and Canon is like so cheap that you can get the body and a lens kit also. And you're like, okay, but they are only like, you know, 4K and all that. Trust me, the 4K fidelity, as in like how many, like let's just say how small of a text you can read, these will bitch slap this. Like fundamentally bitch slap that. And not to mention, lens will be also far more readily available, and quality lenses are available without going into broadcast. Like broadcast are great, no discussion about that, but it's like, yeah, it's, you gotta sell your whole body and they still might be in debt. So fundamentally, this is like price, man. Like this is a real thing you can buy, and these are light, compact, and once you put lens, it's actually usable. Battery life is actually usable. So it does not make sense fundamentally. And they added 32-bit audio, which again I love. Like you're supposed to have 32-bit like this, puppy, 32-bit like this, 32-bit. And they're like, okay, we have 32-bit in the body. I'm like, okay, how do you feed 32-bit? Oh, you can't feed it, it's on board. I'm like, even only Nikon was that stupid. It was like, we have 32-bit. It's like, dude, you're not supposed to have 32-bit. You're supposed to digest 32-bit. As in, basically, there are companies that are dedicated for microphones. Like even DJI has some decent experience. You have Zoom, you have Tascam, you have Rode, you have, let's say, MixPre. Those are pro editions. They are like, we got the audio. We're gonna take the analog mic input and we're gonna convert it to 32-bit digital. You directly patch it up to the video file. That's the optimum scenario. The second option is like have a mic input like Nikon does, where you have 32-bit going in. So if you have an analog mic output, it's like somewhat useful. You can even do Panasonic did. What Panasonic is like, okay, we will digest 32-bit file, but you have to buy our own hot shoe adapter, like $600, $700, where you can plug in mics. Yeah, it was retarded. And this is like, we have 32-bit, we can't store it. I'm like, okay, why not you make your own microphone? They did. This is the microphone, basically almost a competition to this. They released it. Yeah, this is 24-bit. WTF. This should be 32-bit. This is 32-bit. And again, it matters. 32, like trust me when I say this, jump from like 16 to 24-bit is not that big. Jump from 24 to 32-bit is massive. Why? You no longer have to worry about dynamic range. Your microphone will physically clip before the analog to digital converter clips on a 32-bit because it has two of them, one hot, one cold. So you do not have to worry about distortion. Fundamentally, like, it's a night and day difference. Since I switched from GoPro to this, I can like far more comfortably quiet my volume. Basically, I'm far more natural with this because again, this is recording in 32-bit, transmitting in 32-bit, and that transceiver, or again, it might be happening here. I do not know where the digital pipeline is. It's getting scaled. Basically, 32-bit is this big file, and 24-bit is this. It's auto adjusting, auto gain adjustment, and that now it's directly injecting digitally on my Sony system. Again, that was another reason why I bought Sony, because it has that like direct digital digestion. They could have done that 32-bit digestion to your 32-bit system, but they're like, no, we stupid. So that's why like nobody put some effort into it. Like Mic 3 is available, you can buy it, you can forget about it, like buy it and forget. And this whole idea of splitting one model into two models, that either sounds desperation, because it's almost as desperate as Panasonic, like, okay, we have this model and then you're going to buy it and you're going to regret it because like 4 or 5 months after that we're going to release a X model and we're going to give all the features for $200 extra and you're going to hate us, and then we're going to wonder why our sales are not high. So it's either that a company is desperate, or if I'm logical, it only makes sense if they are worried about the SoC again. They're like, hey, we gave 8K 60, we can't trust it at 8K 60, it will overheat. So the idea is Pro 1 people will buy who are doing too much scene setup. It's like, okay, we're gonna do this and do all that. We're gonna take the photos and like clips. If you are recording clips, it might be fine. But if people are just buying it and just trusting it, yeah, it will overheat. So maybe that's the only logical reason I can figure out. It's like, yeah, GP3 is like, okay, but let's not push it. So they have two models. One, they are not pushing it. Hopefully customer will have no issue. And if the camera does have issue, it only has one segment issue, as in like the people who paid more got burnt. So it makes no sense. And you were like, okay, what if they removed heat sink from the inside? It's like, yeah, that's a very bad idea. Now you're pissing off people who paid almost the full price. This is not a good thing. Ask Panasonic, it's not a good thing. And they're saying cinema, 240 Mbps. Translation, divide by 8, 30 Mbps. That's not much. That, like, your car dash cam does that much. That's not much. And not to mention, even, by the way, my DSLR exceeded that, like 15-year-old DSLR. Cinema camera, it's completely different. Even full frame like this. Yeah, full frame cameras, or proper mirrorless camera, have what we call all eye, as in every frame is recorded, which is necessary for action and again necessary for video editing. So if you have every frame being stored, it's much easier on editor and it's much better compression output when you actually compress it and give it to YouTube. But if you double compress it, as in like the camera is not in all eye, it's in GOP, group of picture, it's pre-compressed. Basically frame 1, frame 2, frame 3 all are being recorded. Then it goes to the processor. Process like frame 1 keep, frame 2 delete, frame 3 delete, frame 4 delete, frame 5 keep. And in the between they put a P frame, which you call predictive frame. There is no actual data, it's just math. Frame 1 changed like this in between. That's all it is. So it's crappy. Now again, it's useful if you directly want to shift from the camera to the digestion center, basically YouTube or something like that. But if you want to do editing, that's a really bad thing. Now your editor software, whatever it may be, it has to recalculate all of this. Not only it's computationally heavy, you pre-compress the data. Garbage in equals garbage out. That's why like the 300 Mbps, or like if you go into Nikon ZR, that puppy is like 300 megabytes, not bits, bytes per second. So even like cameras like this 600 Mbps is easy, like 75 megabytes per second. And you're like, okay, but micro SD, yeah, micro SD can handle 75 and remove that. What if you do not want to do that? No problem. There is a new standard of micro SD that is PCI Express based. It's already used in Nintendo Switch. It's not even like first hardware to use it. You could have used that if write speed was an issue. Because again, give me all eye. On an action camera, give me, oh, by the way, all eye also has this advantage because camera processor is not doing crunching, it's less heat generating. So not having that is like, and you're calling it cinema. Yeah, you're not gonna spend like any time. This guy is showing a cinema lens on it. It's like, you know, easiest way to find the cinema, they generally have T rating, not F, T rating. So it is like T 1.2. I'm like, yeah, that lens is exponentially more expensive than the GoPro. Not even in the same ballpark. So yeah, it is really what you call. And again, you can buy the same lens and use these bodies, and I can guarantee you both of them will give better out. Oh, but it's not 8K. Trust me when I say this. Do side by side comparison. Do all eye recording and non all eye of that. 30 Mbps versus hundreds of Mbps. You'll be like, oh yeah, oh yeah. There is a reason why cinema was like 2K, which is basically just a bit more than what you call full HD for years. Only very recently they switched to 4K, the mastering file. Oh, by the way, even Oppenheimer 4K master. It's not like 16K, 500,000K. No. So that's why, like, it fundamentally makes no sense. It's almost like a just look at us and our stock value went too low, like hype. It's illogical, completely illogical. So this was my presentation on basically is this weird thing that GoPro has released, Mission 1. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it among your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show my disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.